Kirsten from JK Fiber Arts. In keeping with my natural theme here these last several weeks, I'd like to show you guys how to do some natural dyeing with walnuts. We are outside on the trail by my house, and I've been scavenging for walnuts. We're a little late in the season, and we've been walking along the trail here, and I've been going to extreme lengths just to get a handful of walnuts by going through all these prickers. And I'm like bleeding all over my legs. And then my husband, I made him shake the branch of the tree to get some that were up there, and one fell off and hit him right in the head, almost right between the eyes. And then we walk 50 yards down and we find this tree. It's like paradise.
Everywhere.
So they're all, I mean, and they're within easy grasp. I can just reach over and pluck.
And thin.
Bitty boy, I can just pluck these up, and there's so many on the ground. So what you're looking for when you're harvesting your walnuts are walnuts that are mostly green. This one's actually really good. These are great, you know, green like this. The greener, the better the dye is going to be. The darker the dye. So there's a bunch of these on the ground, and you know, a little bit of brown like this is fine. I just make sure that they're firm. They're not like soft. I think I'm going to get a kajillion here, and then I will see you back at the big rock so we can process these. My wonderful husband hiked with 23 pounds of these on his back to bring them for us for this video and for me to dye with. I will have enough to dye for a very long time. So this is a black walnut, and what we're going to do is you can preserve them, because I picked these, or we scavenged these in late October. So what we can do is freeze them, or I could have processed them then and froze just the husks, but we were pressed for time, so I just threw them in a giant bag in the freezer. So what I have to do now is we're going to let these defrost, and again, I'm going to have to take these into my house, because if you look over to our deck box here, that is walnut powder. The squirrels had their own walnuts. And I came out, and there was a ton of walnut dust, and there was an actual walnut shell there. So they were having a little snack. So I was afraid if I left these out here to defrost, the squirrels would steal them. So I'm going to let these defrost, and then we are going to get to dyeing this. And it's super easy, and I'll tell you all about it in just a sec. We are ready to get these walnut husks cracked open. So here's what I have. A flat rock. Don't do this on anything you care about, because it'll stain. The husks will stain. They'll stain your hands, just like it's going to stain our wonderful fiber. So everything I brought was as efficient as I thought I could do it. So I have my work gloves here, and I have my husband's handy dandy rubber mallet here. And we just happen to have a lovely flat rock in our backyard, the bottom by our woods. So I have a paper bag here. It doesn't have to be this. This happened to be the only bag that I had around at the moment. So I'm going to use this bag. We're going to put the actual walnuts in there. I saw this amazing video, and I'll put the link to his channel in this video. He basically shows you how to process the walnut to eat. And I figured, might as well try it since we got some here, and why put it to waste? So we're going to try to do the walnuts as well. These are our walnuts. And, you know, 2 seconds ago when you saw these, they were green. You're like, what happened to them? So what happened is I froze them. So here we are, about a month. I put them, maybe 3 or 4 weeks ago, I put them into the freezer. Hi, Finny. So what I'm going to do is I put these in a plastic bag. I'm going to put the husks into my bowl here, and then I have my walnuts here, and I brought a little pad for me to sit on. Now you can kneel. I have a knee replacement, so I can't really kneel down, but I can certainly get down. So I'm going to sit here like this, and what you're going to do is we're just going to hit them like that, and it cracks open, and there is the hull. So I'm going to put the hull in my keeper bowl, and there's the nut, and I put the nut in the bag. And I'm just going to do that with all of these. And this how to process the actual walnut. I watched that video. This guy's video was awesome. I think that he will let you know everything you need to know about processing walnuts. And we're just going to throw these husks, the hulls there, the nut in the bag. And then I'm going to weigh out my hulls to see how much fiber I can do. There you go. And here's the nut. But on this other guy's video, he shows you how to clean the nuts and dry them. And I'm going to try his method. So you may want to pop over there if you decide you want to do this, because it sounds pretty cool. I don't even like walnuts and I want to do it. So here are my hulls here. And we're going to go take these up. I'm going to weigh them before I put them in because I would like to have a 1-to-1 ratio between grams of fiber and grams of hull. And if I have a lot of extra hull, it's okay, because you can freeze the hulls again if you're not going to use them. I'm not sure how the freezing process affects the walnuts, but we're going to find out. The video that I watched didn't say anything about the freezing process, but I know you can still dye with the freezing process. I'm not sure if it does anything to the nut or not. And I'm pretty excited. This is a lot of fun. My husband and I did this together. The other thing that you could do if you don't have a rubber mallet, you don't even need a rubber mallet. We used a log. Where's the log you used, Mike? Where did you put it? Oh, it's just like a piece of firewood over by Finn there. So he just takes the flat end and smashed it on the rock. So here's our rock finished. So if you have this dye on your stone wall on your patio, not so cool. And then here we were talking about how in the videos they all wear gloves. I thought, well, I'll just wear my work gloves, my garden gloves. And what happened was it does get a little bit juicy, and the tips of the fingers of my gloves got a little bit wet. And even with that tiny bit of wetness that I had, you can see that, you know, my fingers that I was doing most of the pinching with are a little bit orange. So this is going to be hard to get off. Let's head up to that dye pot. Somehow my mic was muted. I'm going to need to voice over this section. So here are my hulls, and what I'm doing is just weighing out my grams. So I'll have that 1-to-1 ratio of grams of walnut per grams of fiber. The fibers that we're going to be working with today are Polwarth and Shetland. And you can see that weighing out the couple of 100 grams that I used, I had a ton of hulls left over. And you can refreeze the hulls. Also, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the 2 little crock pots behind my stock pot. Once the hulls are in the stock pot and the crock pots, you're going to fill them up with water, as much water as you think you're going to need for your dye stock. Uh, I'm going to fill this pot as high as I reasonably can, leaving room for my fiber. Then you're going to let it soak anywhere between a few hours and over 24 hours, depending on how dark you want your dye. Here we are. I apologize for the last bit I had to voice over because my microphone somehow got set to mute and there was absolutely no sound. So I spent all that time explaining and did absolutely nothing. So we're going to do a little bit of explaining while we look at this. So this has been just no heat soaking for about 30 something hours now. You can let it soak for days. You can let it soak for hours. I just, for convenience of my scheduling, it's been about 30 something hour, a little over 32 hours maybe. So you can see how black this is, how dark this is. Look at how lovely this is. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to turn on the heat, and I'm going to bring all of my pots to a simmer. Here's the little crock pot over here. And you can see this is probably black too. So that's a little bit green. Actually, I don't think it is. I think it's black. And then we'll look at this one over here. And this is actually really fun. So I'm just gonna give these a little stir, and then we're gonna turn on the heat, and we're gonna simmer. Look how dark the dye is without even doing anything to it yet. Look at that. All right, so let's get this going. So I'm just gonna turn these to simmer. And I'm gonna put the lid on that so that it can simmer. I'm gonna do my crock pots to high, and then I'll come and turn them down to low, because the simmering counts when it gets up to simmering temperature for an hour. So it'll take a little while for these to get up to temp. Let me get my lids here and get everything ready. Here's what this looks like now after simmering for an hour. And now I'm going to strain this. What I'm going to do first is take a slotted spoon and just get all the big husks, and then I'm gonna dump it through a colander with a coffee filter in it into the pot. You do not have to wait until it's cool. It might be a little safer that way, but if you want it to dye right away and you already have your fiber soaking, you can just go straight from here. I have known people who have not really, they've taken out the husks but left all the debris in, and I think it's kind of annoying because yes, it's pretty. Some of it'll come out when you rinse, but when you're spinning it, it's like just a lot of vegetable matter, so I don't like to pick it out. So I try to get this as debris free as I can. The other wonderful thing, which you would have heard me talking about if I had not had my microphone somehow muted, is about wetting out your fiber. So you can wet out your fiber, just enough that it's going to cover it and soak it up. And typically, if it doesn't have silk in it, you can soak it anywhere between 20 minutes and a couple hours. The wonderful thing about the black walnut dye is it does not need a mordant. So you just soak this in water, that's it, and then we're going to prep our dye bath, and then we'll be ready to dye. Now, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do this all in one setting here tonight, so I think that I'm going to actually just make my dye bath. I'm gonna strain everything, and then I'm gonna cover it up, and when I come back tomorrow, I will just have to wet my fiber out, heat up my dye bath, and I'm ready to go. So what I am going to do, I wish I had a slotted spoon, but I don't. So I'm just scooping these out, and I'm going to put them into my other pot here. And it's going to be kind of messy. I didn't bring my tripod down, so trying to do it one-handed. So I'll just do a couple of these, but all I'm doing is this. If you had a slotted spoon, life would be so much better. But I didn't buy a slotted spoon from the dollar store. I just have a full regular spoon, but it'll still work. So I'm going to kind of get these big chonkers out, and then I'll show you how I plan on straining it, if it works. I have an old colander from our kitchen that is actually kind of falling apart. I duct taped the bottom of it back on. We'll see if it holds. My husband assured me that it would. Hopefully he's right. We have our dye bath here, and I'm straining it. I have proof of concept, so now I feel comfortable showing you guys. So this is my duct tape together colander. I'm going to show them the duct tape. Don't turn it too far upside down, but yes, it's duct taped together. And I'm just going to pour this in here, and hopefully it doesn't fall through the bottom. And it's just going to strain it extra here, because I already scooped out all of the giant pieces in the holes. And I'm just going to let this run through, and I'm going to continue to do this until I have all of this giant vat strained, and then we'll be ready to wet out our fibers and start dyeing. Looks like coffee. It actually doesn't smell bad. It smells kind of nice. Here I have my fiber. I'm going to wet this out. I just put a little sticker on here. I try not to make it stick the whole way. So this is my Shetland, and it's 4.3 ounces, and I use a zip tie, nice and light. I put just a little tiny dribble of unicorn power, unicorn power scour in here, and this is cool water, and I'm just going to submerge my fiber, and I'm going to leave this in here for, I don't know, 20 minutes, and then I'm going to rinse it, and then hopefully by that time the dye pots are up to temperature, because here we are the next day. So I strained all the batch yesterday, and today I got home from work, and we are ready to do this. So I'm going to do all of them just like this. I'm just going to tag them, put zip ties on them. I'm going to do black for Shetland. I'm not sure what I'm going to do for Polwarth yet. I think I have some green ones around here somewhere. And I will be back here when the dye bath is heated up and ready to go. Something I wanted to do before we got too far underway, this is just starting to warm up, it's still cold from yesterday. I'm going to give this a little stir. One, I'm wondering if I got all the grit out. I thought I felt something in the bottom here, but we shall see. But what I'm going to do is stir this up. So I'm going to show you how to shift the color too. It should shift it to an amber. Let's see how we do. but I'm not going to do it with this dye bath, because this dye bath I want to do the nice dark rich brown, the like milk chocolate brown. So I have my handy dandy pH paper, and I know that my water pH here is pH 7. And I'm going to take my pH paper and dip it in here, and we're going to see how that goes. So I'll probably do a teaspoon of cream of tartar, and we'll see what that does to the pH, and then we'll see how it shifts the color, what the pH can do. So here is our smaller pot here, and this, well, also there's another variable introduced here that I would not recommend, which is I got these Instant Pot, or these crock pots from Goodwill, and somehow last night I thought that it was turned to off. It was not, and I did not. Usually I'll turn the power strip off, and I didn't do it last night. It was getting late, and I was just tired, and somehow it wasn't off. So it was on low the entire time, which shouldn't affect the dye at all. I mean, it wasn't even simmering. But when I came down, I was like, why does that feel warm when I touch it? So it was on all night. It looks like maybe I lost a couple millimeters of dye bath there, but not much. So let's put our cream of tartar in here. So, and this is just regular old cream of tartar that you use for cooking. Of course, I'm not using this for cooking, ever. I bought this specifically for dyeing. So here we have our, this is a ½ teaspoon measure because I didn't have a teaspoon measure that I wanted to ruin. So here's one. There's 1 teaspoon-ish. It's probably a little more than a teaspoon. They were kind of heaping over. So let's see what we get with that. And I'm going to let that sit there for just a minute. And let's see what our pH paper is telling me right now. Well, so right now the pH of this is pretty neutral. It's around 7 right there, pretty close to that 7. So it's spot on 7, which means the acidity hasn't changed. What makes this dye strike is the tannins. So we can see that our pH is 7 now. After this teaspoon, we'll see if that changes the pH at all. I've never shifted the color before. Let's see if it changes the pH at all. I can already see that it has. It's made it more acidic. Look at that. Changed it a lot. I wonder if I add more, if it'll make it more acidic and make it even more of that kind of the honey brown color, or the amber brown. Let's see. Now I'd say that we are in the 4 range. Let that sit there for a second, but I'm going to say that's 4. It looks kind of orangey to me. So, which is right where you want it to be. So let's just leave it be. I tend to fiddle a little more than I should. So we're just going to do the teaspoon, put the lid on, let that get up to 10. And I think you can really appreciate the change in the pH at this point. You can see here, this was the first one. Oh my gosh. Finn! He literally just fell down the stairs and hit into the wall. Okay, take two. You can see that this first one here is still a 7. Now, actually, once it's dry, I'd say maybe it's even a little closer to a 6. It's still close. It's probably between 6 and 7 right there. Hard for me to say. But this is easier. You can see it's much oranger. Much more orange. And this is around a 5. I think it's spot on a 5. So we are definitely affecting the change that we want to see. pH strips, very important in dyeing. So next stop is to just put our fiber in, and we will bring this up to temperature and let it simmer for an hour. I am up to temperature, of course, in this little one first. 1, it's smaller, and 2, I left it on all night. So we are there. It's at 180 degrees. I'm going to go ahead and put, this is the smallest of the Shetland that I have. I'm going to go ahead and put this in here. It's about 3 ounces, 3.4 ounces, somewhere in there. So I'm going to go ahead and just lower this in and hope it all fits. I didn't think it would hold much more than 4 ounces, so let's put that in there. Lovely. Oh, this is so rich looking. And I will periodically, over the hour timer here, come in, 1, maintain the temperature, and 2, make sure that I get it all underneath there. Okay, I think we're ready here, hot on the heels of the small crock pot. I cranked the temp up on this so that it would get up there a little faster, and now I just lowered it back down to 200. 180, 185 is what you want, but this is not running super hot, so when this says 200, it isn't really 200. Let's see where we are here. Yeah, so right now we're almost to 180. So I think this is going to be great. I'm going to go ahead and start the simmer here. And this is a candy thermometer, which works really well for this. So what I have here is, we have the Polwarth, and I found my other zip tie, so I tagged it with the red and the black. And I'm just going to go ahead and lower that one in. Oh yeah, this could hold a lot of fiber in here. We can use this dye bath multiple times, this dye bath. So here we have the Shetland, and I'm going to go ahead and put that in as well. One comment about the Polwarth, I got the Polwarth from a different distributor, and I always, when I pre-soak my fiber, I do it in 2 steps. I put a little tiny bit of the scour power in there, and I soak it, and then I rinse it. I wish that I would have taken a photo of it. I've done it before, but it was never as impressive as this. So the first one I did with the Shetland, it was very minimally dirty. The Polwarth and the Shetland, I washed them together, but it was really dirty, and that had to have been the Polwarth. So I'm very glad that I washed it. When I rinsed it, it was clear. So here we are. Let's see how we do. We're gonna cook this for an hour. I set the timer for an hour. I'll keep a close watch to make sure nothing boils. The only one that doesn't have anything in it is this crock pot back here. As soon as it gets to temp, I'm going to put the rest of the Shetland in there. And then I still have some Polwarth left, a lot of Polwarth left. So what I'm going to do is, once I take those out, I'm going to put the Polwarth in these other dye baths and see how long it takes them to exhaust, and we'll start getting lighter and lighter colors. We may not even see much of a change because, like I said, it's pretty concentrated dye. A lot of walnuts in there. We are ready to rinse this. I had this sit overnight, cooling. It's been 24 hours. Oh, guess it would be super awesome if I had 2 pairs of gloves, or if I had both gloves on. So what I'm going to do is just take this out. I'm going to wring it out and then rinse it. I'm going to do the small pot here first. And here is my zip tie. I'm going to try to do this as least amount of mess as possible. Let's see if we get that nice lighter color that I was anticipating. You can see I do have a little bit of debris in here. We'll just try to rinse that out. So here is our first one. Trying to find my zip tie. Ah, here it is. This one is the Polwarth here. So let me see if I can get the other one free. So this is the Shetland, and here is my zip tie. See if I can get this all out of here. And I'm a little disappointed in my straining because I can see there's little specks on here. But what I'm going to do before I do the next bat, I'm going to filter this so that it will be okay. So I'll get all those little bits out so the next batch, I won't have any issues. Well, let's see if we notice any difference in the color. I think I already do, but we'll rinse this and see. You can see the Shetland is dead center on the screen. The three on the left are the Shetland. The one that we shifted with the cream of tartar is on the right of the Shetland, and then the one on the far right is the Polwarth. So this is all wet, so we'll see what it looks like when it's dry. There is some debris in there, but we'll change my process up a little bit and we will be good to go. Kind of love this honey brown color here. So that together, oh, that would look beautiful. Here we have our final results. I love this. I'm really excited. I can't wait to go back down and start doing some more. I have so many black walnuts. If any of you live nearby and want to come over and dye, please join me. So here we have the cream of tartar shifting, and I'm going to do this more. Like I said, it's a little bit variegated because the pot I had was so small that I just don't think it had the opportunity to get everywhere. So, but it actually, I kind of like the way that looks. But this is the Shetland, and that's you can see the difference here in the milk chocolate and then this kind of reddish brown, which I really like this color of brown. So the big one back here, this is the Polwarth. Oh my gosh, this is so soft and fluffy. I am absolutely in love with all of them. So I think it's really easy, super fun, and I'm very happy with the results that I have. And to sum up, the awesomeness of this natural dye is that it's not going to fade in the light. It doesn't fade over time. It will last. The tannins make it so you don't need a mordant. So, no alum or anything like that. And the process is super simple. Hope you guys find some black walnuts and enjoy doing some of this dyeing. I will see you next time. Until then, spin happy.